Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WGLNA Season 2 Gold Leagues. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left is David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. If you guys aren't watching this on BattleViewer.com, go over there right now and check it out. And finally, follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you and also answer for us the question of the day.
Just what tier 10 tank are you currently working towards?
Sir, I'm currently working toward the Waffle E100. I know there's a lot of E100. The Waffle is what I'm most excited about getting. I like playing the Waffle. It was the Roomba when we called it the Waffle, and now it's the actual Waffle, so I got to get it. David, what about you?
Lots of them. Lots of them. But it comes down to the Object 140 is the one that I want the most right now.
Awesome, awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, match number 1 is done. Match number 2, which is Ping999 versus Yo, is about to begin. On the side of Ping, we've got Shimbo. On the side of Yo, we've got Lost That Love and Feeling. Gentlemen, welcome to the face-off. And Lost, we're going to go ahead and... What's that?
Nothing, Kogos.
Okay, Lost, we're going to go ahead and start with you. Now, you guys have played in this past week. You've played Noble and you've played High Voltage. Now, two of these, just the top tier players, the top tier teams right now in the season so far. What have you guys learned the most from playing against those guys?
What not to do.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Basically, yeah. Just like I said, the first time I had an interview was basically it's a learning experience. Those two guys are the best. So, yeah, we learned what not to do. So, moving forward, just a progression of the season.
That's great.
Like I've said many times, and I'm not up here just lying about stuff and covering. I'm being honest. I really respect the fact that you guys just took it to them. There's not really a map that you can run to that's going to be safer or better, so you might as well learn how to do the intense firefights against the best. It's a great way of learning it, and it's inevitable. So,
yeah.
Props.
Yeah.
What tier 10 tank are you working towards, Lost?
I'm doing the free XP for the check medium, just grinding tier 10s, and then just do free XP to the
That thing's gonna be ridiculous.
After the third clip, it's much better than the bad chat. So the first two, it's about even, but after the third, it takes off.
Ooh, all right. Well, can't wait to possibly see that and play. If it's gonna be ridiculous, as David says, I'm excited to see you guys use it.
It will. It will.
All right,
Shimbo. What tier tank do you want most?
Oh, Shimbo sounds like he might be muted. Check the mic.
Hi.
Hey.
Now, yes. I think now I work in heavy tanks.
Yeah.
All heavies.
Just all of them.
Good style.
Yeah, I mean
All of them.
They're back.
No
They're
mouse,
back.
but
No mouse. Yeah, that's what David.
Yeah.
David doesn't like the mouse either, so you're totally with him there. Thank you so much, sir. Gentlemen, before we get into the match Lost, is there anything you'd like to say to Shimbo before we get started?
Best of luck, man.
All right, Shimbo, your response.
to you.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen.
Best luck to you.
All right, best of luck to the both of you guys. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you guys very shortly.
Yeah, it's not that the mouse is even a bad tank. It's a great tank, but it depends on your style of play. And for me, I like to rotate around and attempt to carry as much as possible.
And that just makes
the
it
mouse
really
isn't
tough.
exactly agile. So
Yeah.
so that but oh man, when you show up to a fight with that thing,
Scary.
it's pretty fun.
I think I saw there in the trailer, just kind of wrecked. It looked like just like a little light tank. Took a shot, blew up another one. She's like a beast of a tank indeed. Let's pull up the rosters for both these teams before we get into the matches. On the side of Ping, on the side of Yo, David, some of the standout players.
So far for Ping, kind of the standouts we've been seeing, I believe, are Mufasa and Taco Soldier have been somewhat up there in the fantasy points. For Yo, Major Trouble, Fulcrus, Andy Pants. Depends on the game, honestly. I think it's Chai Sniper and Andy Pants that put up the most.
Yeah, see their names a lot.
Fantasy in that one, but it's easy to check if you go to fantasywgl.com. But either way, the people that I would consider kind of the standouts would be those same guys, Chai Sniper, Fulcrus, and Andy Pants so far.
All right. And also so far, speaking of fantasy, David, as we've seen the first match go by, High Voltage versus Simp, your points looking good? You pretty confident so far?
Honestly, it's hard for me to even pay attention to all that. We got so much that's going on, and
That's true.
I check it afterwards and do my adjustment there. But today, I pretty much just assumed that I was going to lose a huge amount of rank.
5
because
matches.
Today
a lot
is
of
crazy.
Interesting matches.
I'll either
indeed.
randomly end up in first,
Which
or
is-
I'll be
yeah.
like 305th. I don't know.
First or 305th or any in between. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know your picks as well. But right now, Ping999 versus Yo, about to get underway, starting out onto Ruinberg. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For Ping, we have 2 FE215Bs, an Object 260, 2 T22 mediums, and 2 T55As. For Yo, 2 FE215Bs, 2 E5s, 2 T22s, and an RU251.
Okay, there's that T22.
Yeah, well, man, it's incredible. We saw last time the dispersion on it. Maybe this game we'll have a moment I can hop around and check to see what the other equipment that people are running on it. But it probably depends a little bit on the scout roll. You know, I'm sure that Blue probably would rely on a vertical stabilizer more often. Looks like Fluky has one. Fossa has one. Volkers has his.
Wow.
And Bobby has his. So none of these guys are actually doing the spotting roll, so that optics doesn't really make as big of a difference to him. And while it probably doesn't need the vertical stabilizer, of course it'll be better with one. So all of these guys are geared and ready to go for actual brawling in these tanks.
Beautiful.
Right now, Yo, interesting formation so far. Fulcrus in the middle, he can add in a lot of damage. Bobby's in the north, he can rotate around and pick that up, no problem. And the rest of Yo, grouping up, they're going to push up the 6 and then east. So this is going to come into another situation where probably the RU-251, where somebody is going to have to get spotting on Taco Soldier and Fluky, or it's going to get really, really mean for Yo as they're sandwiched in between 2 different prongs of Ping999. Ping actually has 2 tanks up in the north, so they could intercept Bobby if Bobby doesn't see them coming. And from there, it's really anybody's game. It's going to come down to who is the best shots. And right now, Yo is stagnating. They're getting lit up from those 2 that are all the way there in the north. But they do have Crossfire, returning that fire for 841. And Bobby's might start moving in, trying to get those shots. But this is slowing down what Yo was trying to do and could delay their entire game plan and work more in Ping's favor with that slight sacrifice now. Could come back for better gains for Ping here in a moment. But Fulcrus is biding his time. He does have shots on Shimbo. Shimbo won't be able to get away very much. This is starting to develop into a match. So we'll find the end result popping up here. 746 coming off Shimbo. Fulcrus still back and forth. This is what
Look at that position.
some people consider reverse angling. And it is, in a sense, angling while in reverse.
Nice.
So it's true.
Nice. He's reverse angling.
If you want to get technical, both reverse angling, but it really depends. I mean, it's a big argument. Who cares? Angling is all that matters.
Sure.
And Fulcrus is doing it quite well, bouncing some shots off the side there. I think they have a little bit of spaced armor in the T22, similar to an IS-7, and I believe the Object 907, I think, also has some spaced armor.
Okay.
So it could actually take some of those shots on the side. In particular, heat shells will kind of dissipate in the side there. Shimbo has fuel tank damage, as we can see. And it looks like Tauntonox's 260 has cannon damage. It'll make it a little bit more difficult for him to fire. It depends. I'm not super familiar with the 260. Perhaps that's a tolerable amount. But you may be wondering why these guys are still sitting on their repair if they've got only damage, things like that. And if you see them over here and it's yellow, it's just damaged. It's not broken.
Right.
If it goes all the way red, then they can't use it. So right now, they're sitting on it. The only time you'd really want to use a repair kit early for just something that is damaged would be an ammo rack or potentially a fuel tank, but less so on the fuel tank depending on your consumables. If you detonate a fuel tank, if you take away all its HP, the tank catches on fire. It's one of 2 ways that a tank can get lit on fire. But if you have a fire extinguisher, whatever, not a big deal. The ammo rack, however, most of these tanks cannot be one-shot ammo rack by most of the other tanks that are on this battlefield at this point in time.
And is that something that's very common for tier 10s?
Not necessarily. It depends on what's hitting it and which tank you're driving and a few other things. It's a very, very detailed thing. But if you've already been shot once and taken damage there, the effective hit point pool for that module, for the ammo rack, is now roughly half.
Okay.
Which puts it into one-shot explosion range for other people.
No bueno.
So some people like to sit on it because, well, when I shoot again, when it starts to reload, then I'll fix it and get my max reload. But you're playing with fire, and you could be risking a
Whoa,
damage. There
Taco
we go.
Soldier getting lit up right there by almost every member of Yo. The T55A deleted there for Ping999, and that is going to be the trigger that pulls Yo into going to the Delta Village and challenging Ping and whatever's going on here. Fulcro's taking some damage there. Fluky driving on the way through. Shimbo trying to get out of there, making sure he can be safe here as the rest of Yo kind of funnel now in, and it looks like they are slowly taking control of this Delta Village. Fluky now dropping just barely above half health. Reaper taking a lot, 730 points there in that 5B. Chai Sniper, Striker, Major Troubles, all members of Yo here just barreling against Ping999. It looks like there's nothing they can do. It's getting further and further out of their hands. Antipon's taking down Shimbo, and Reaper will be going down next in his 5B as well. Lost picking that one up. Not a single member of Yo has fallen, and down to 4 members for Ping. Finally, Mufasa taking out Lost, finds the first member of Yo, but Major Troubles finds Taunt. Taunt does pick up onto Pons, but Fluky, Mufasa, and all, they're all so low. And with actually Fluky taking on Chai-Star with an E5, they're doing their best to try to get these positions back, trying to get any hold, but with that double kill, Striker and Bobby picking up Fluky and Ald. Mufasa being the last one to remain. That's like the first victory is going to be going over to Yo. They still have 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. Plenty of time to take down this final T22. Yes, you may be an awesome tank at T22. Yes, David might really, really want you, but against a 4v1, there's not much you can do. Yo picking up the first victory there onto Ruinberg. Now, kind of going into that match, we started out, nothing happened. Just a lot of stalling. It looked like maybe Ping had done something to make Yo pushing the brakes there. But once they found Lost, they brought their T22. Yo brought their T22 from the north, drove it all around the city to come back and just take down Lost in that K0 area. Once that tank was done, I mean, that was it. I mean, that was just the push. They didn't care about cap. They were just like, hey, we're just going to take Delta Village.
That's what we were talking about before that early fire of exchange happened in the 5 line, if you remember.
Yes. Yep.
So
Shimbo, I believe we were talking about.
Yo hesitated for a little bit after that happened, and then eventually proceeded with their plans. So they were just grouping up tanks to push across into the south side of the Delta Village.
Okay.
And then they were going to send the T-22 and the RU-251 over there. Actually, I think they were only planning to send the RU-251, and then they found out they had to pull their T-22 from
Around
the
as
north
well.
side and wrap it around. So they added it in there as well, and he was kind of there, I don't know, to take a picture of what happened, I guess, because he just had a front row seat to that entire
Look,
volley
everything exploded.
on that medium, and it was a very well executed thing. You get them right there in the south, and as soon as you know there's a tank down there, you blitz in with the RU-251 to get them lit, exposing the RU-251 as little as possible, and then volley on the first tank that was there.
Beautiful.
And that was a great set of shots. Statistically, Bobby leading for Yo, followed by Major Trouble, and Chai Sniper, then Fulkerson Striker, all of them roughly between 2,000 and 3,000. And for Ping999, really just Aldebaran and Mufasa near the top, Shimbo, not so much.
Now, we were talking about in tier, in last season, when we look at a tank, we go through the stats, we kind of, no one quite broke 1,000, right? Like, that'd be like, oh, yeah, no one quite broke 1,000, that's a problem. In tier 10, in this new format, is it no one breaking 2,000? Is it 1,500?
I'd say 1,500 is probably like the danger zone situation, but 2,000 to me, it seems to be if all of the players in the team are doing a relatively equal amount of
That's what you
damage,
should be seeing.
they're all floating in between 2,000 and 3,000, varying numbers, right? And those numbers are 200, 300, 400, but those are only one shot. It's only a handful of seconds for a lot of these guys.
Sure.
So, yeah, if you're not breaking 1,000, it's a definite
Problem
problem
in tier
at
10.
tier 10, unless you are otherwise gaining someplace else.
All right. Now, we just got word Yo did take a timeout here, getting ready to get into that, which is interesting to me. I mean, you're one match in, and you've decided to take a timeout. Usually you save that for it's a tiebreaker, or you're up super far, and you want to make sure that you can just continue that. Why do you think you would take it after a quick victory like that and give your opponent time to kind of collect themselves?
Maybe somebody had, to take a break very quickly.
Gotcha.
That's a possibility.
Gotcha.
But strategically,
yeah.
they could just be wanting to make sure they discuss something in particular before they do it. They just want to take that moment to
Cool.
get their heads in the right place.
Before it gets too far. That makes sense. All right, yeah, so there you go, guys. Yo on that timeout. We're going to get back to it very quickly. Switching sides this time. Now, that T-22, we kind of saw it. You used it. You said they weren't quite bringing, or you bring it as the scout this time, looking at the kind of setup that they had, or going for the brawls more often?
Well, I was kind of comparing it to what we saw Blue Boys do with it on Ghost Town, where he was scouting with it and thus wanted as much vision as possible.
Gotcha.
On Ruinberg, you don't need that vision. Not really.
Okay.
Most of the angles they're going to be looking at, the distance is much closer. And they weren't really using him in that role where he's just driving around scouting. I mean, he was more of a
action-
flank. So he
Gotcha.
needed the DPM. He needed to be able to fire as accurately and as quickly as possible.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready for the next battle. Yo is up 1-0 against Ping999. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For Ping, we have a 50B, 2 E5s, 2 62As, and 2 T55As. For Yo, 2 FE, 2 15Bs, 2 E5s, an STB, and 2 Object 430 version 2s. Those are the Tier 9 versions of the Tier 10 tank, the Object 430.
Let's talk what Reaper and Taunt are bringing, the T62As. Let's talk a little bit about those tanks, kind of what their purpose is, their pros, their cons, because that's a tank. I think it's the first time we might have seen them tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Tonight, yes.
Right.
They're a
Not
mainstay
in the
tank.
weeks, right.
They're arguably the first tier. Now they are the first Tier 10 medium for Russia that was released.
Okay.
I look at it a little differently because the max tier medium, when I got max tier, was a T54, it was a Tier 9, and they expanded it later.
Whoa.
But as it is, 62A, we already have a little bit of a fight here in the middle.
Just a little bit. Underpon's kind of rushed on the F-road, found Ald. Ald found him as well. Standing a little bit of shots there. Aldo taking a lot of damage from the front. 1,200 points in that T55A. This is not looking good for him right now. There's really nowhere he can go, and Lofts is going to pick that one up already. Ald falling for Ping, and that's a tank going down with not a lot of response there, going out for Yo. And it looks like the rest of Yo coming around the corner, taking some shots there onto Striker. Less than 60 seconds into a battle, a tank is already down for Ping. Yo doing a fantastic job with that call to make sure there's no one either or someone coming down that F-road. And now with the tank down, they are in a lot better situation.
Absolutely, that is a big pickup for Yo. Very aggressive move to put the 430 that far down, but it paid off. They got another Tier 9 out for that, and a lot of map control. So really, it's not a whole lot of places they can go without being spotted.
Uh-oh.
You can see them starting to merge into this area right now, and they're going to try and take kind of what I always consider the hub. If you imagine this as sort of spokes on a wheel, the area right around the one cat is essentially the hub or the axle of the whole thing. Anyways, they're all grouping back into this, and Yo can see them cross this road pretty much no matter what, except for where these two 62As are going, all the way across there at the red line. That is too far for Anipans to see them, so that's a smart move by Ping to make sure those don't get spotted. But these two E5s, they're not crossing north without being spotted. I don't think that's their goal. I think they're trying to get this angle here.
Onto Ponch, Shimbo does take that first shot there.
So this is effectively a kind of a two-corner, right? We've got this one right by their gun and then one on the other side of that pile of rubble. So they actually do have a slight angle in to where Anipans is. You can see that with the barrel lasers turned on. That's the shot that they are looking for. And they're not going to be able to get it.
Oh, yeah, they can't get it.
He can tuck back into this, I don't know what, we always called them stalls, essentially.
Makes sense. Get back in the stall. The broken down house.
Backed up into there. He's perfectly safe. And right now, Ping is wasting valuable time that they need. But they do have a rush coming across the north, and Bobby is exposed as a T-55. 2 62As are collapsing in on him, but he can run into the courtyard to where all of his all the safety is, so it's the rest of Yo that is more in trouble. But there are plenty of guns on target here to make this backfire for Ping. Yo's first decision looks like to be to pile the F-road and try and fight it out directly there, leaving Bobby a little bit open.
Let's see what happens here as we got a little bit of a battle developing on multiple fronts here. Right now, the rest of Yo is piling on, which is going to cause Ping to push on the rest of the team. Anapon's taking a lot of damage there. One more shot. He's going to be falling down. He is followed there by Striker, taking some damage for Ping. Meanwhile, Bobby over in the north taking so much damage. There's no one who can help him. A little bit of damage there coming from the Delta Village, from one of those Object 432s. A lot there going to Taunt. Major troubles. Meanwhile, taking down Fluky. Mufasa taking down the D5 to respond. Taunt there finds Bobby in the north, but the fight is not over in the tire. Shimbo going down to just barely above 1,000. What's the damage? Another chunk of damage. 758 there. Lost picking that one up. A fantastic job by them. Mufasa in that 50B is on reload, so he is now just running for his life. Anapon's there. He's going to try to finish him off before he goes down. It looks like he knows that he won't be able to. Just maybe try to get one more shot in there. Now he's going to be playing it safe. Fulcros and Lost are coming around trying to cut him off from going anywhere else. Wisely, Mufasa does not continue to push toward the cap. He decides to go back around. 90 seconds on the clock. The rest of Ping, though, noticing their teammate is in trouble, are going to try to barrel down right down the C road here to see if they can take down Fulcros and the rest of Yo. Some damage are going on. 402 and then STB 5 tanks alive for Yo against the 4 of Ping. The HP is so far in favor of Yo right now, though. Ping would have to pull out a miracle to take this one out, and looks like that's what they're trying to do as Taco Soldier does find Lost. Reaper, though, is extremely low. STB1, though, reload is very, very long. Striker taking down Taunt. And upon does find Mufasa, which just remains 2 tanks there for Ping. Reaper, who only has 165, one more shot. He's going down. Striker finds him. Taco Soldier barreling his way through. It's not going to matter as the final member of Yo picks up Ping. That's again another victory there, going over for the Mona Lisa in sunglasses. That was one of those. It got close. It got closer than I really kind of expected it to get after that amazing opening from Yo there to be very, very aggressive, which is something that we've been seeing defensive teams be more. It's almost like, now it's even with these caps, they are on defense, they can't hold back, but it's like, well, we're finding out that no, we're on defense doesn't mean we can't be aggressive at all, and it seems to be working out for them a lot. Is that something that will eventually you think become meta as these defensive teams more aggressive, or is that one of those plays you just pull out every once in a while?
That's an interesting discussion. Both.
Okay.
I guess the best way to put it.
Okay.
The meta for this tier 10 format right now, in my opinion, is the quicker you can get the enemy team to split and then take as many of your tanks and put them on one of those splits as possible without risking a cap, the better position you're going to be in. Now, that doesn't matter whether you're on offense or defense.
Okay.
Right? You're just
Sure.
trying to create an overmatch.
Sure.
And that was a big deal at Tier 8. It's a bigger deal at Tier 10 because of the snowball effect. Once you take down a couple of guns, at that point it doesn't matter.
huge
The
amount.
positional play starts to diminish.
Right.
Whereas at Tier 8, you could lose a tank, but if you got the right positions out of it,
You can come back.
You could come back no problem because you can only take 4 shots before you close that distance and die, right?
Right.
In an IS-3 or whatever. At Tier 10, that is not the case. You got plenty more hit points to work with, the chance to bounce higher DPM. So you have to keep all your tanks intact, and you have to keep them in a place where they can run. Because if you separate and you're going to get a cost for them coming after you, but you're still going to lose the tanks, perhaps that's too much.
All right. Well, now what we saw Ping do there at the end. We just got word Ping now is taking one of their only timeout. Which this is where I think would be a wise decision because
Yes.
We talk
Good
about
time for it.
going back and forth. It makes it a lot more balanced. But if you go back and forth and you're still down 0-2, it's got to be even more taxing. Kind of you getting in that situation because it's supposed to be a little more fair, a little more even to kind of trade those victories. But what Ping tried to do at the end, sending those 3 members to try to take down Bobby, push right past the north. Why it did work? They got the tank, but I mean, in that situation, I think Yo did the wise move and just find, all right, you got 3 members now, not the fight. We're just gonna find the overmatch.
They left 430, I believe it was Chai Sniper, back to support Bobby while they were doing it to kind of slow everything down, make it more of a 2-on-3. And the E5 in that position is kind of hard to deal with, so it didn't really work for him, honestly.
Right.
Let's go to stats while we have the time.
do it.
We probably do with that timeout. We'll find out. Fulcrus with the STB, nearly 4,000 damage, and Mufasa and a 50B, also about 3,800 for Ping and for Yo. Different teams for those two. So both of those guys are the ones leading off. Everybody else pretty far behind except for Striker. Striker's flank there at the end was a little bit slow, and I'm not saying that was his fault that it was slow.
Okay.
It's his tank that's slow, and whether it was called for or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
But at the right time in the right place, he was able to get 2 kill shots, and a situation that was starting to look like Ping might be able to find their way out of it got shut down as soon as he rounded that corner. But the 50B he went to flank, killed a couple of his guys as well. So in the end, it worked out. But he came in second for damage on his team at 28, 45, and 2 kills.
All right, there you go. Again, guys, checking out on fantasy points. Those are why those points matter so much because you guys can win prizes. They keep building your team, which makes you better and better. Chance to get makes you better. Well, it makes you better and better people. That's what it basically does. It gives you a better opportunity to win more prizes. So again, go over there to fantasywgl.com and check that out. And if you guys are on battleviewer.com, which you guys should be, it's just that button in the bottom right-hand corner. So go ahead and press that. Final kind of question before this match gets underway, because we're about to get right back into the next one. When you lose a tank like that, we talked about the snowball effect. You know what? I'm actually getting cut off because the battle is underway. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll save that question for later. Let's get right into it and see if Yo can continue the snowball effect, or can Ping's timeout prove worthy for them if they can pick up any victories here on Ruinberg. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For Ping, 2 FE215Bs and E5, 2 T22s, 2 T55As. For Yo, 2 IS7s, 2 260s, 2 E5s, and an RU251. Like you said, it'll make you better at fantasy and make you better at life. I'm pretty sure you could just show your fantasy roster to your employer
Well, yeah,
or to
put on your
somebody
resume
you are applying to.
Yep.
And just say, I'm worth more money.
because I'm good.
Do you want to win gold in World Tanks?
Yeah,
I
done.
thought
Pick
so.
me.
Hire me. and I'll
Pick
teach
me.
you how.
Guys, that's what I'm saying. We got to use these advantages for the real life. There's so many implications here. But enough about that. Starting out put positions here. Yo, very aggressively going here for this eastern cap, southeast cap here. Looks like a very kind of classic spread. Looks like they're going to try to get onto punts, maybe in that K0 area. If you are the aggressive team, David, is that a great position to be in, or is it too easily fired upon by the Delta Village?
Which position are you talking about?
K0, if you're on the offense.
Oh, it's way too easy.
Okay, so you don't want to get there.
Not necessarily not early.
Gotcha.
Unless you can get there early enough to where you can get in those bushes and spot them as they come down and not get spotted in return. But it doesn't matter if your tanks are not in position to fire on them.
You're just dying.
You're just dying. Exactly.
See your death coming.
So all those heavies, that's so crazy. I don't really know. Well, it's a good path, actually. They can make it all the way to the corner of the Delta Village without getting spotted for the most part until they're almost always there.
Wow.
And the angle is different, so people won't be expecting it necessarily. Nobody really sees a train come out, but that used to be an angle a lot of people take. Either way, Underpants trying to have a 1v1 with Taco Soldier, keeping him lit for these 260s. As soon as they get there, they're going to start focusing out Taco Soldier, and he is the first step to victory for Yo, as they got to take down that flank before they can push all the way through. And Ping sitting around their own flank, as Andypants really the only one making connections with Taco Soldier so far.
Here we go, Taco Soldier dropped down to 867, now 482. A couple more shots, and the final one from Fulcros you guys saw there in that IS-7 is going to end that T-55's life. That is a tank there already falling for Ping999. Looks like Yo is now just going to take more and more control of this Delta Village Major.
Ping is a little bit too far into this F-road. They need to be stood off far further down this in order to stop what Yo is doing or catch them in the flank right now. If Yo simply pushes through, Aldebaran will go down, followed by the rest of the team.
And that's exactly what looks like is about to happen there. One or two more shots. Final one going to Bobby. Chai might be able to finish that one up for maybe Fulcros, but Major Troubles might be in trouble himself here as he is getting dropped way below half. Reaper picks that one up, but meanwhile, Chai did take out all Fluky and Mufasa. Ladies and gentlemen, the T-22s are joining the members of Ping to try to help him out here, but Yo now looks like that they have taken control of this Delta Village. They are in very good position to win this match. Finally, Fulcros finding the kill there onto another member of Ping. Ping dropping just with 4 members left against the 6 of Yo. More and more, this is looking helpless for Ping. Lost picks up Taunt. Fluky trying to get out of there, but there's really nowhere he can run. They are on defense. They can't even make it out in time. They just have to sit and fight as best they can, with Yo having such gun, HP, and tank advantage. It is over for Ping999 almost very quickly, right after it began. Still only 5 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. Fulcros pick it up Mufasa, and the final T-22 medium driven by Fluky is the member on the chopping block who will be going down here right before 5 minutes. Can they do it? No, it does cross into that 4 minutes and 58 seconds mark. They're going to be happy either way. They've got the victory. A nice finish there from Bobby in that E5, making Yo up 3-0 against Ping999 onto Ruinberg. And now, one of the immediate thought that pops into my head is how awesome was it, we kind of talked about in the beginning, that Yo did get to face off against 2 amazing members, Noble and High Voltage. They get to find out, wow, all the things that they did wrong, like Lost was saying in that interview. And now to play against Ping, who hasn't quite gone against some of those members, they're showing their just dominance all of a sudden out of nowhere. Very well controlling the map, controlling the pace, controlling the positions, and they might 4-0 them right in the beginning and then pick up that 5th victory. If you're Ping in that situation, this is happening to you all at a quick pace. What is your initial response going to be? It's like, all right, these guys are now all of a sudden on a different level.
That's certainly, well, Ping is missing their collar right now, and I'm not sure if this would go exactly this way if that were still the case. But let us go to stats for a moment.
Just for a moment.
Where did that even come from? All right. Bobby.
My brain.
In an E5, 39-62. Fulcrus, 25-72 with 3 kills. Striker, Chai, Andypants. You can see the list. But check this out. Andypants in an RU-251, 1508. He is alive the whole time. He went over there for what is possibly a suicide scout. And he lives.
and he rakes up some damage.
Lived, and he did half the damage to the tank that he was there for, the T-55A. And Shimbo, Reaper, and Taunt, only one's breaking 1500. Everybody else pretty much just getting caught out, hung out to dry. I mean, like I said there, they're too far up the F road, and if you don't have the right backing to that, those people all the way down the 0 that can prevent tanks from coming up the 0, then it's going to be a very quick match against a team that recognizes the gaps. And so far, I've mentioned this a couple times, Yo has faced some tough opponents, but their instincts are correct. Their understanding of maps is mostly correct. There are little things they don't know about WGLNA,
okay,
but the map itself they get.
They got it down.
And last season I talked a lot. People didn't really quite understand how to do the Delta Village, and
right,
it was kind of mind-boggling to me. It's like, how is this not? Yo gets it. And all they did was overweight the 0, push all the way down. They found the weakness, they took it, and they cut it up into quarters, and they just moved 1 quarter at a time. Southwest, southeast, northeast, northwest. Bam, bam, bam,
Very
bam,
methodical.
done.
Right. Fantastic job for them as well as they got a well-deserved victory there, making it 3-0. We're getting ready for our next battle. Can they make it 4-0, or can Ping find 1 victory on Ruinberg here? Let's find out and get right down and take a look at what we've got for our takes.
For Ping, 2 FE215Bs, an IS-7, 2 E5s, and 2 T55As. For Yo, 2 FE215Bs, 2 E5s, 2 Object 430 version 2s, and a T22 medium. Yo is on defense this time, so this is their chance. So they're looking pretty to expand this to a 4-win lead. All of Ping backing up Aldebaran's move to go down the F road and get to a spot where last time he honestly got annihilated.
Yeah.
So we are seeing the exact same movements out of Yo again.
Yes.
And Aldebaran is going to go all the way up. There we go.
He made it.
He's safe.
He made it. All right.
Ish.
So this time he got there
Safe-ish.
just a little bit quicker, and now Onapon just getting lit up. There finds a proxy spot onto Alt. He's running up to the same position, but it looks like he had a little bit of rubble, or maybe he meant to do that to try to stop himself quickly. Some shots there going to major troubles. Not too much damage going across, but definitely more for the side of Yo than for the side of Ping. A huge chunk of damage are going to Striker. Ping really lining up the shots beautifully, all doing his best to try to sit up there, getting that proxy spot onto Onapon, making sure he can't advance forward to get to that position maybe that he is in himself. And with just 60 seconds having elapsed, a lot of action already breaking out here onto Ruinberg, and Ping looking like they're in a better position than they were last time, at least, because last time they got here, Ald was already dead. This time he's alive and then went well, really, full health. Ondapons did get in that situation, and David, when you've got what we've got going on here, where Ondapons looks like, if he goes out, he's going to get blown up, so he's not going to move. If Ald goes out, he's going to get blown up, he's going to move. If anyone goes for him, they're going to get blown up, they're going to move. It's like a little bit of stalemate going on this road. Do you just ignore it? Do you send a couple of your members around? Do you split your forces? What do you do in this situation?
Well, for Yo, they don't really have to do anything. They can tuck Andy Pan's back, and he's not at risk. Aldebaran can't come around and support him without dying. So they really just needed to not let that exchange on the F-road happen. They probably thought they could have gotten more damage out of it, but realistically, Ping was in better position, and Yo was not. So it's a good exchange by Ping, and they have a little bit of a lead now. As you can see here in the side panels, Andy Pan's is missing his gunner, and Striker is missing his driver, making an already fairly immobile tank, or slower tank, even slower, and he is one shot away from a fire risk. So not a good situation for him.
No.
Meanwhile, Ping has 2 slight, exposures. Both Fluky and Mufasa have had track damage now, along with Reaper. No telling whether any of them have burnt their kit yet. And if they have, then 1 more track pretty much guarantees they die in the right position. But, now Andy Pants losing his driver too in this head-to-head with Aldebaran.
Getting worse and worse.
He's letting this fight happen, and he doesn't need to.
Right, just stay back.
There are some angles. He just needs a little bit of support from the Delta Village. And, okay, he does have a pretty mean angle right here. But trying to penetrate that angle is not likely to happen. And,
Taco Soldier. Wow. Taking a good chunk of damage there. It looked like from Chai Sniper. Didn't quite catch that, but dropping him down to just above half health in that 55A. 5 minutes on the clock here, and like you said, you're right. Yo doesn't have to do anything. It is up to Ping, who is the attackers, to make the move because they're the one who has time against them. Yo just needs to survive, or defend those caps, or defeat all the enemies to pick up a win on defense. Reaper, a little bit of damage there. Another shot coming, and that is Chai Sniper. And then Object 432 finally taking some damage in return, having to back into that K0 position, which just seems like such a key and crucial position if you are on defense to get into. It really has a lot of nice angles, stops your enemy from pushing and getting over that far of the map. What is the best way if you see a member there already and you're not in a position to take it? Yeah.
Look at this triangulation. Chai Sniper, Fulcrus, major trouble. All getting shots into Reaper where he is.
No.
And Reaper can deflect a lot of these from different angles,
Not that
but
one.
it's not going to last forever. And he's 1 shot away from death. But the rest of Ping trying to make a move across the north. They will be spotted by the E5 Bobby up there. So pretty much we're looking at an exchange of this FE215B for some HP out of Yo, but quite frankly, not enough. I mean, we're looking at 100 hit point difference, and the tank is 5 HP away from death. Chai Sniper looking for that shot. He'll probably get hit by Taco Soldier in the exchange, but as long as he doesn't take a shot from Reaper, it's probably worth.
Right.
Assuming that he doesn't die to Taco while he's at it. But again, A tier 9 for a tier 10. Not a terrible exchange. Just unnecessary at the moment, because if Reaper tries to go anywhere, he very will likely die. Aldeburn and
Okay,
Aldi Pants.
makes sense.
Andy Pants still deadlocked in the middle. Nothing really happening there.
Taunt.
Probably just looking at each other.
Putting that pressure on there for Ping999. Just barely gets on for that I-7. There he goes. Backs off, then gets right back on the end. Trying to reposition himself a little bit better. Bobby has spotted him out there. He's taking some shots there in that E5G. And great job dodging and bouncing. A lot of them. 3 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock again. Ping need to use this time wisely because the clock is going against them. Shimbo also, meanwhile, taking a lot of damage himself in that 5B. One more shot, and he's going to go down as well. Look at Bobby. Just all these shots missing. Finally, Bobby picks up Shimbo there in that 5B right from behind the camera.
Striker's going to join Andy Pants to take down Aldebaran. That's going to clear up the F-Road, and the rest of Ping stepping on the northern cap to try and make something happen in an otherwise fairly hopeless match.
That's right. All now taking a lot of damage, dropping to 543. It looks like Andu and Striker are going to be able to finish that tank off. Ondepans is going to get that one in that object. 432. 19 seconds is on the clock. I think it's the lowest we've seen a cap get today. Not a lot of people utilizing it, but Yo doing a fantastic job getting that reset. And once, David, like we talked about, once you get that reset, there's just not a lot of pressure on for you as the defensive team to really worry about that. Bobby still, look at much health that E5 has. He was taking so many shots. Look at that, 3 shots or 2 or 3 shots just went right into him. Not a single one connecting there. Mufasa is gonna be going down for loss, picking up that E5 for Ping. Ping with just 3 members alive. Yo has not lost a single one, doing a fantastic job here on our second match of the inning. Tot getting lit up from the front, from the back, 1,600 points of damage, and finally, Striker's gonna finish that one off, leaving just Fluky and Taco Soldier alive. Taco does finally find Chai Sniper there in that 1v1 he was having, but with Fluky going down, 1 minute 40 seconds, I mean, I guess they could, Ping could try to put pressure on that southeastern cap, but Yo is already sending Bobby over there just in case that is what they're planning on doing, as well as Full Crows. Meanwhile, Andepons picks up Fluky. Andepons.
We cleared that up while you were gone,
Oh,
actually.
which one is it?
It's Andy Pants.
Andy Pans. All right, Andy Pans. It is from now on. Cleaning up that shot. Bobby and Fulgo's going through. They find Taco. They take out Taco. Reaper's still alive. He's the final member on his team.
The guy that could have died first.
Could have died first.
Is now the
He's
last alive.
staying last alive.
That's actually not uncommon. It's the guy that usually dies first. Pulls out of that position of
Sure,
risk.
sure.
And then just spends the whole match looking for where he can contribute without dying. And
Well.
in Reaper's case, not only was that true, but he's also pretty slow.
Andy Pans picking up that final victory there, going over for Yo, making it now 4-0 against Ping999 here in our second match of the night. And that is going to be it for Ruenberg. And the next map we'll be going to is a surprise right now. So stay tuned for what that is. But just kind of again, I totally am. I'm glad you brought up the fact that Ping999 is missing their caller, and how that is a horrible situation to be in. Your caller is the one who coordinates everything. They're the one that everyone's talking to. Talk to me a little bit about the importance and the crucial role a caller has on a team.
It depends on the team. As we've discussed before, some teams have 2 and they work in a different system. Some teams, the caller just kind of decides the overall strategy based on lineup. And then in some situations, the caller's the guy who decides when you flank, who does it, where they go, all of the micro. Different styles for different people. Often new teams are more in the vein of a guy who tells people what to do everywhere. He's a micro caller.
Okay.
And then as teams get more experience, they try and get away from that because there's inherent weaknesses to that. Personally, I always found best that 2 people microing different parts of the team and working together very well is the best. But it's very, very difficult to do that. One will step on the other. We struggled with it on my team a little bit, and then we separated. One person took over, and there were problems with that, and the other person took over, and there were problems with that.
Figuring out.
And then it actually turned out that, even though it was irritating when we ruined each other's plans every once in a while, it was actually best when we worked together. At least that was my opinion on it. I'd have to bring Friction on here to ask him about that. But either way, they've had 2 games now, and they should have been able to adjust to being gone, their caller being gone, and discuss more about what to do with strategy and schedule it out a little bit more. So I honestly feel like, caller or no for Ping, Yo is playing such a better game at this moment in time. a lot of their focus fire. I mean, Shimbo pokes out, gets lit up.
Absolutely.
Just one
Gone.
after another. They're supporting each other to get those positions. One guy is overwatching the other one so he can get to a position to fire at somebody else.
Just the next level of play.
And it's that's how you do it. Somebody's always got to watch. It's bound and cover, overwatch, fire. There's basic terms that that come out of anybody who probably plenty of our veteran viewers are familiar with. I probably even got some of them wrong, but it is a basic way to play, and they're doing it quite well.
Now, speaking now of Yo's focus fire and kind of the importance of that, when a tank pokes out, when an enemy tank pokes out, you have like 4 guys ready for him. How crucial is it to make sure that one of them has that? Hey, you're the shot. You want to track him. Not everyone goes for damage. Like one person going for the track shot. Is that always the case? Is it merely no? If we can light him up, light him up.
It seriously depends.
Okay.
As well. And some maps, say Himmelsdorf, that could be the deal, or one guy's dedicated tracker. Sometimes you do that with it would be more of an IS-3 in the older format, so that the 5100 could get all his shots out. But a 50B actually has a good amount of penetration, so he can do both. He can actually track and guarantee when he reloads to track.
210s, man.
It just depends. Usually I split people into units of 2. And then they will decide who is going for the track at that point in time. It's whoever's got point.
All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yo now is up 4-0 against Ping, going into Prohorovka. I probably butchered that. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Ping with 2 E5s, a Bat Chat, a Leopard 1, an STB, and 2 T55As. Yo, 2 E5s, 2 STBs, 2 T22s, and an RU-251. We'll see if Ping can make their plans work for them a little bit better on Prohorovka. And I'm not even saying it right.
Okay.
I just say it close enough.
Great. People are like, oh, yeah.
That people who don't know how to really say
Can we just call it like
think it's good.
Can we just call it like pro? Look at these guys on the map.
A lot of people call it like pro or proke. But I had a bilingual English-Russian speaker on my team who loved to make fun of us every time we said it wrong. So let's just have it to even attempt it, but he would still shake his head.
Love it. Hey, at least you tried, right?
Maybe we'll bring
points for
somebody
trying.
on here to
On
clear
the
it up.
Andy Pants, dang it. Taking already some damage there, but they're fighting Reaper. Yo, beautiful focus fire there. Reaper getting deleted.
Rip.
Chai Sniper. Ladies and gentlemen, press F to pay respects. That tank is gone. Fluky dropping now down below half health as well. And that STB1, Bobby taking some more shots into them. And it looks like Yo is just going to roll over Ping right now, finding these 2 quick tanks just 60 seconds into the battle. All now taking a shot there. 732 points of damage going to that tank. Still, most members on Yo very, very healthy. Ping is slammed on the brakes now, trying to back off. Andy Pan's on the way up on top of the hill. Gets deleted by Mufasa. Trying to take down Shimbo. Might have been a little too aggressive there, but it looks like it's not going to matter as Technos is next on the chopping block. That E5 should be going any second. Alt and Taco, they're out. They're like, we are done. It is going to hell in a handbasket up on top, and we want to get out of here with our lives. Lost now charging as well as Fulcros onto Yo, going into Technos, and that shot there going to Lost, but it's not going to matter. Just 4 tanks remaining, and with Mufasa about to be going down, that is just going to be 3 for Ping. Yo still has 6 members up. Taco and Ald are the ones down below the rest of the members. Shimbo does have the hill, which is good position to be in as far as up firing down, but we actually talked about the hill in this map, and there are a lot of places to fire up upon him as well, so he is not the best position. Chai Sniper going down. We have Taco just trying to use his friend as a little bit of a cover as much as he can. Fulcros, oh, I thought he was going to get some air right there, chasing him down into the ditch. Shimbo dives off the side. He knew it was over, and that is going to be Yo's 5th and final victory, going over to Ping there onto Prohorovka. What a fantastic, quick match that was indeed. I mean, my gosh. I mean, already, Yo, I don't know if that was just them knowing what Ping was going to do or just having just fantastic positions, but deleted that tank right at the beginning.
In my opinion, if you own the eastern side, then you can stop both caps. That is at least how it used to be, to a certain extent. And
Yo obviously got that.
The map hasn't changed since Season 4, I think was the last time we played this. So I expect to see a good amount of fights in the east, and there's a lot of different little quirks to that. It can, in very many ways, be like Cliff or
use it against them.
or mines. And we were talking about this at the beginning, how this was going to start popping up as a deal.
Yeah.
And if you have those fights over there and you don't know all the little bushes, all the little buildings,
Under the tracks.
which ones you can volley fire down and then fire through. So like there's some situations where somebody will think a building is safe and you just blast it with HE and then light up whoever's behind it.
No.
It gets bad. So
Whew.
rough first time on it.
That is right.
For
But
Ping.
fantastic job from Yo cleaning that one out. A 5-0 victory against Ping. Ladies and gentlemen, match number 2 is done. Match number 3, Noble versus Eclipse, coming up. Don't go anywhere.